Morning, everyone. My name's Simon Conlin. I'm an employee of Addysg Oedolion Cymru, adult in Wales. And I've been invited today to share my story of how adult education has given me a second chance and helped change my life's direction. My background is I grew up in the South East Valleys during the 80s and 90s. My parents were hard workers. They were working class and proud of that. My father was a long distance lorry driver, and his job meant he was often away from home. And my mother worked various jobs in shops and in care. My parents didn't have a lot of money when we were growing up, but they worked hard for what they had, and they were great role models. Further and higher education was never an option for my parents when they were younger. Naturally, they wanted me and my brother to do well in school, but higher education was something we were never pushed towards. But they did want us to have a good secondary education. I always remember my dad telling me to enjoy and work hard in school because he didn't want me to follow in his footsteps and become a lorry driver. He didn't want me working those long shifts away. My parents didn't want me going to the local schools. They thought that a Catholic school would be a better education for me. And for whatever reason, and I don't know why, I just never engaged in school. I hated going to school. My parents tell me when I was 4, I went to meet the teachers in primary school. And I told the headmistress I didn't like her. And she, in no uncertain terms, told me she didn't like me back. I still remember feeling anxious on the school bus every day. I would sit next to my friend for the entire journey. I'd say very little. I just looked forward to going home. I absolutely hated it. Because my focus was getting away from school, I was branded as lazy by teachers and was told I'd never go to university or go far in life. And to be honest, I don't blame them for thinking that. I was on that path. I was an average student at best. When I applied myself to something, I was capable, but I never excelled at anything. The only things I enjoyed in school were doing sports and IT. I did leave school with a handful of GCSEs, but with no real job prospects, no real skills, or desire of going into further or higher education. So I went straight into work. I had several unskilled jobs, which included working in a sports shop, multiple factories, and a cash and carry. And about 5 years into my working life, I knew I wanted more, but I thought that was that. I thought I was stuck doing these types of unskilled jobs, working for people who didn't value me. And I thought my school education defined me, and that was that. But what I did enjoy was working with computer software. So a friend told me about an IT qualification called the CTL, and it was a level 2 IT qualification that looked good on a CV. So in 2007, I found a course with then WEA South Wales, and they had a learning centre in Risca, which was run by David Ashman. The centre was quite close to my house, but they also ran evening sessions, which allowed me to attend after my job in the cash and carry. And it felt very different from a school, and it felt like a little community. The qualification was self-directed, but I also had support from Dave and the staff at the Learning Centre, and I gained the full qualification. And at roughly the same time, the organisation were looking for an administrator on a project, and I successfully got an interview. I believe Jeremy is here, and he was actually part of the panel over 14 years ago, and I was successful and started working for the organisation. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity. I was based in the Risca Learning Centre, working with really nice people. I would man the centre, and naturally I would end up helping learners on their courses. I believe completing the course and working for the WEA were the first 2 things that started to change my life's direction and my mindset. It was a second chance, and I was now working in an organisation where I felt valued, in an environment where you could see a difference was being made, and it was a real rewarding experience. I enjoyed supporting learners and helping them, and I was made aware of a level 3 teaching qualification. The course was run by Peter Thomas in the Dowless Engine House in Merthyr Tydfil, and this is the course that really changed my life. Peter was such an engaging tutor, so different to what I'd previously experienced at school, and I enjoyed attending the sessions. I started the course quite shy and reserved, and I finished it confident and longing for more education, and people couldn't shut me up. So on completion of that course, I started teaching for the organisation, and I moved into a development worker role. I wanted to progress and see how far I could go. So my next step was university. And with the support of the organisation releasing me from work for half a day a week, I went to UWIC to start my Cert Ed. It was a massive step up and a huge challenge, but I was able to apply myself and I graduated. And I still remember that release of pressure I felt when I finished, like a great weight had been lifted, but I still wanted more. I carried on doing more courses to improve my education, my job prospects, and I valued all CPD and work, but I was also learning for fun. I was growing in confidence, enjoying the challenge, and wanting to move up the ladder in work. 29, I was desperate for a degree, and thinking back, I think I wanted to see if I was capable of achieving that, but I also wanted to show others I was capable. So I enrolled on a BA in post-compulsory education and training at the University of South Wales for one evening a week for 3 years. I enjoyed the lectures, the topics, and I loved the challenge so much that during my 3 years in university and whilst writing assignments, I also completed a level 3 digital literacy practitioner course and a level 3 TACA assessors course. During the degree, I became a father and my mentality changed again. And I found myself even more driven, and I completed a degree, graduating with first class honours. After university, I completed a level 4 qualification in assessment and quality assurance, so I could carry out an IQA role within the organisation, and I became a father for the second time. At 32, I felt like I needed a new challenge. I had recently moved to Risca, which was a location of a retained fire station. I applied to be a retained firefighter with the South Wales Fire and Rescue Service and got through all the fitness and ability tests. It's a role I wanted to start so I can make a real difference in my local community and develop a different set of skills. We respond to various calls, including house fires, RTCs, river rescues, and once a teenager got stuck in a toddler swing at a park. But the role is heavily based on education within the community. We go into schools, we give presentations to community groups, attend community events, and carry out home fire safety checks. The role has brought me great enjoyment, and I've been lucky enough to be awarded a commendation from the Chief Fire Officer for a river rescue incident. But the thing I enjoy most about the role is I'm constantly reflecting and constantly learning. Adult education has changed my life and my mindset and has opened up opportunities for me to become a more confident person. It's been more than an education to me. It's given opportunities to work on projects that have taken me to Greece and Portugal. It's given me opportunities to go into higher education, an internal desire to improve. It's made me aware of my responsibility to myself and others and become a more active citizen in my community, to think critically and make informed decisions for me and my family. And I feel so lucky to have had those opportunities. My journey isn't something I could complete on my own, and I've gained great friends along the way. So I've been lucky enough to work with great people who have supported and mentored me, including David Ashman, Sharon Reeder, Lynn Jones, and James Fleming. My family and the organisation have supported me all of the way. Currently, I'm a quality coordinator for the organisation, working within a great team that are making a real difference within the organisation. I'm supporting colleagues and tutors daily and enjoying my role. I get to go and meet learners, speak to them about how their course is changing their lives. And I've met some really inspiring people. I've been a retained firefighter now for 4 years. I'm going against my dad's wishes for me not to be a lorry driver and work long shifts, as now I drive a fire engine and I'm on call 84 hours a week in evenings and weekends. I hope I've changed my family's path by demonstrating that we are all capable of changing and that our family's social class and educational background does not have to affect our own future. Moving into the future, my plans are to start a master's degree, to keep trying to move up the ladder in both roles, and to keep learning and to push my daughters to be the best they can be and value the importance of education throughout their lives. Social class, my family's educational background, and my school education doesn't define me. And I may not be where I want to be right at this moment, but adult education has put me on the right path to get there. Thank you very much.